It took me over 2 decades to get here. It started when I saw an advert in a newspaper. They were advertising writing courses. And I thought, that's something I could do. I could become the next great writer and I could sell millions of books. But my love for writing came through the stories I read. I've always been a member of a library until then. I was a member of our local library. I was a member of the main library in the city center. I even went to Alliance Francaise and got the books there. I read a lot and I had a lot of fun. It was an element of wanting to be one of those and also write my own story. And in the course, I learned to write magazine articles, to write different types of books, and I thought I would get started. I tried to submit a few articles. It turned out not to be as easy as it seems. And before I knew it, something else caught my attention: electrical engineering. That way, I was getting closer to making some money. I went to the college, I enrolled, and I started learning about power, the way you would wire a house, the way it distributed to our homes. And before I knew it, I realized that there was something even more interesting: electronics, electronic engineering. And there were TVs, radio, transistors, and I was caught up. I was in love and wanting to discover everything I could with electronics. And before I knew it, computers came out, operating systems, programming, developing. I became a developer. In my own time, I had so much fun. I would turn the keyboard on the computer into a musical instrument. It just looked as if there was so much creativity that could be engendered with the computer world. And yes, I started working as a developer for a retail organization. And we were the guys in the background programming the system to allow customers to come and purchase different furniture, some on credit and some through the banking system. And that was fun. I still found ways to make my work fun, the way I would report, the way I would put the forms, and I had so much fun. Before I knew it, I became a consultant, analyzing data every day, writing different codes to discover, like a forensic specialist for data, discover the secrets that were hiding in data, draw beautiful graphs. But I was nowhere close to writing anything. But I had an idea. While we were doing all this work, what if I started a newsletter and working for the data engineering department, data engineering services days, I came up with the days e-news. And I would use it to share different social news that we had in the department, give tips on how to become a better developer. And once in a while, I would include some jokes. There, I was back to my real love, writing something, not just writing code or writing a report or building a beautiful graph. I was churning out words. This was so popular that the bigger department took up the work of writing the newsletter. And eventually, the entire organization started publishing the newsletter. But that meant that I had to give up my little departmental newsletter, and everything became the focus of the communications department. Day was gone again. My writing dream squashed. Eventually, I moved on to the next organization, still with that desire for creative expression. And when I got there, it was a multinational. I had so many opportunities to travel the world. And every weekend, I would grab my camera and express myself through photography. I got closer to nature. I would even kneel down on the floor to take a picture of that beautiful flower that was breaking through the concrete. But that wasn't exactly writing. but it was an outlet for my creativity. And time went by, like time does. Life takes you through different roads here and there. And I found myself eventually working in cybersecurity, fighting the hackers until I met a friend who reminded me of my first love, writing. Maybe I could write that book. And together we started working for over 2 years on getting a book published. And I'm proud to say there it is. Finally, a book written with my name on the spine. Maybe it took 2 decades to get here. That fire in me never died. It was just covered. And time was slowly rekindling that fire until the right time came. And I'm thinking maybe it's time for me to finally break free and get those ideas on paper and not just have this book out and the many, many, many more that I'm trying to be written. And I will invite you to grab one, read it, and tell me what you think. Am I as good as those authors that I used to read? Am I inspiring you to take up action? No matter how long it takes, no matter what journey you go through, meandering through life, do you still have a dream? Will you also write? Will you also let creativity flourish?